If you've been keeping up with me, you know I work 2 jobs. I'm a dental assistant, orthodontic assistant during the day, and I am a waitress at nighttime on the weekends. So I work part-time as a waitress. Now, I tell my mom this all the time. I've made the most money as a waitress. When I first started waitressing, I was at IHOP for I think a year, and doing that, I was 19 years old. I was bringing home $1,200 in tips in a week. $1,200 in tips in a week. And now I'm 25 years old. I'm working 2 jobs. What I make as a waitress, I make in a week compared to my dental assisting. What I make in 2 weeks at a dental office is what I make in a week at a restaurant. I'm not telling y'all to go be waitresses or nothing, but I'm just saying there's so much patience that requires you to be a waitress. Now, to me, it's worth it. It's worth the money, but not at every restaurant. Okay.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
I ain't even gonna lie, in this generation, if you can handle 2 jobs, bro, you really gonna be straight. Like, cause look, bro, let's say you don't got bills and you stay with your folks, and you got 2 jobs. Let me do the math for y'all. If you got 2 jobs and both of them pay weekly, right? It's 4 weeks in a month. Times 2, because you get paid from each job a week. It's 4 weeks in a month, bro. That's 8 checks in a month. And you stay with your people and you don't pay nothing. That's what I don't be saying, bro. Like, I know times hard, but for y'all people that don't be paying bills, bro, y'all shouldn't be saying nothing. Nothing. You see what I'm saying? Y'all not applying yourself. Now, the person who got bills, you still gonna be straight. You see what I'm saying? Because you going to use your first job. Let's say you got 2 jobs and you know they 15 higher. You use your first job to pay all your bills, responsibilities, and all that. Use your second job and you going to save all that. So that's 4 checks. See what I'm saying? Because you're going to use your first 4 checks from your first job to handle all your business. Your second job, you're going to be stacking all that and just stay down for about 6 months. Bro, you going to be up. I'm telling you, apply this. It's going to be hard. You know, the hardest thing to manage is going to be getting sleep. You know what I'm saying? You can't be getting off, going to do this, that, and the third. You got to get them Z's, get ready for the next one. Do that for about 6 months. I'm telling you.
People who work 2 jobs, shout out to y'all. Because, y'all, I got a seasonal job for the holiday. And let me tell you right now, this shit is hard. This shit is hard.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to any of y'all. Matter of fact, I ain't lied to you motherfuckers yet. But on this Good Friday, I am this close. Look at it. This fucking close to quitting this fucking job right now. And you might be asking, why? What do you mean? What happened? I'm glad you asked that question. My fucking back is hurting. My knees are hurting. I stacked this entire fucking line of product on this damn hand truck to the fucking top of that shit. That's usually what the fuck I do, because I want to get off fast. I don't even want to fucking be here. So of course I want to work fast to get the fuck off. And wouldn't you believe, all of the fucking product tipped the fuck over. And I lost my cool. I'm not gonna lie. I was mad. There was a bunch of motherfuckers and fuck this shit and all this bullshit. It was a lot of that shit. But what I did is I restacked the fucking shit, went inside there, dropped it off, got my signature, came back to my truck. But that doesn't erase the fact that shit like that has happened to me several times. And when I mean several times. And I'm in this fucking creative program, and I'm making this money from posting all these fucking videos, man. Listen, hey, now don't get me wrong. I don't make as much money off the creative program that I make at my actual job. It's not that much. But there was 1 month where I came this fucking close to making just as much. And I was like, bruh, if I can do that shit again, oh, fuck this job. So don't be surprised if I fucking don't be surprised if you see me post a video like, hey guys, I quit my job. Because man, this shit, y'all, fuck this shit. Well, I don't even want to get out this fucking truck. And I got like fucking 11 more stops, man. Fuck.
When I say stack jobs, this is what I mean, okay? It's 2024. We're stacking jobs, all right? We're stacking money. We're stacking jobs. We don't owe these companies any loyalty, okay? So get to it. If you want to know how to do it, I'll teach you. I promise you I'll teach you. It's not that hard. Y'all have multiple kids and y'all tend to all of them at the same time. So I have, and I get them all done at the same time. So stop playing, okay? Speaking of stacking, right? I have 7 companies that are hiring stats on the fly, okay? There's no reason why everybody's not working from home, right? In the comfort of their home, handling business, making big money, okay? The first company is Frontline. This is a call center. I tell everybody, if you want to get on and get on fast, you have to start with the call center. They hire by the group, okay? A lot of other companies hire 1 or 2 employees, and that's it. They hire by the group. You'll start this week, it'll be 16 of y'all in that group, okay, in that training class. Next, the following week, it'll be another 16 of y'all, right? So apply, okay? The next one is Williams Sonova. Then Working Solutions, Broadpath, Conduent, Trident Care, and Sutherland. Listen, not all of these are call center positions. Some of them are processing claims. So again, run. There's no excuse whatsoever. I will post the links in my comment section as well as in my link tree, or either or. But let's get this money.
Best part about having 2 jobs is not the paycheck. The best part is you could tell everybody you have 2 jobs. I didn't argue with the man once when I had 2 jobs. Every time they raised their voice, baby, I got 2 jobs. I don't have time for this.
I just quit my corporate job, and here's why I think hustle culture is a lie. I'm gonna get really vulnerable, so just trigger warning if you can't handle any of that. So I got sick this past April for like the 7th time this year, and I'm not normally one to get sick a lot, so I just knew that like my body was really stressed. I needed to just take a break. Like my body was constantly in fight or flight. While I was out sick, I found out that the girl that had assisted me in my position quit. And I had done the position by myself before, and I knew what was waiting for me when I was going back to work. And so while I had the opportunity and the leverage, I told my manager, hey, I need to go part-time. And I also asked for a $2 raise because I would be doing the work of 3 people. And she said, we can definitely accommodate that for you. You just have to wait until we have a new member to add to our team. Now, almost 2 months later, I revisited that conversation. I said, hey, we're hiring a new person. Just want to confirm with you, part-time, that $2 raise. She says, oh, well, now HR can't approve that raise because you're going part-time and because, you know, you got a raise at this time last year, you got to wait a little bit longer. But I was supposed to be training the new person that was going to be starting at more money than me due to more experience. I had been strung along last time for a raise in this company, and you know, I was promised to be making the wage that I'm asking for now almost a year ago, but the company needed to make more money first before they could give me a raise. So I waited 4 months, and when that raise came, they said they could only give me lesser wage than I was promised initially. So this time I was asking for $2 more to be at that expected wage that I was promised, and unfortunately I didn't get any of that in writing, so that's my fault. The fact that they couldn't approve that, I was just like, and I genuinely couldn't handle the stress of this job. And again, trigger warning, during this time last year, I had a miscarriage while I was at work, and I'm just fully convinced that it was because of the stress. My body literally couldn't handle it. This is why we were planning on me going part-time, is so that we could actually start a family, and that my body could hold on to that this time and it wouldn't be so difficult. And now I've quit because it's just messed up that like a loyal employee that has put in so much work and hard time can barely get a raise, a $2 raise in accommodation just due to the circumstances of life. Meanwhile, that same company will hire a new person at a higher wage, or just, you know, hiring people at the top that don't need to be hired for a ridiculous wage to just delegate their tasks to other people in operations for no reason. The point of my message is like, hustle culture is so revered. It is just, everyone's out to get that bag and get the money and go get the money, girl. But like, we're working 8+ hours to live for 4 of them. Oh, go get that money, go get that bag, but we need a vice to get through the day. We can't cope with stress. We can't live our life without an antidepressant, without smoking, without vaping, without drinking, without doing really unhealthy amounts of things that are actually harming us, and it's just the way that we're going to cope and get through this job. We work for 8+ hours a day so that we can go home and be a human for 4. We have 4 hours out of the day to really be a mother, to be a father, to be a human, to be someone with actual interests and actual hobbies, and we don't rest anymore. Hustle culture is a lie. What use is your money if you're sick? What use is your money if you don't have time to actually live your life? We are actually being convinced to settle for being sick, tired, stressed, underpaid, overworked, so that someone else can get millions of dollars, but so that we stay in middle class and we don't enjoy our life. Obviously, bills exist. You need to have healthcare. You need to take care of your family. But I just feel like I worked so hard to get this job. I worked so hard to be this corporate girl, to have a big girl job, and all it's done is harm me. All it's done is just like bring me to the point where my body like is physically giving out, and I need to take a break from work in general. I feel like there are so many other people, especially women, that understand that we've just bought into this lie, and it's harmed us. It's gravely robbed us of joy and health. And I've always been too scared to take a risk on my dreams because I didn't think that they'd like financially back me. But now I just think life's too short. So if you made it this far and you have a passion or something that you've always wanted to pursue, just do it. Just do it. We spend the majority of our lives at our jobs, and we might as well be happy and excited to work those jobs. So wish me luck and follow me along if you want to see what I come up with.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
I'm working 2 remote jobs. One job is like my full-time job and another job is a contract job. This contract job is, if you remember, if you've been here for a while, last year I was laid off. This is the contract job that got me through like the summer, and I'm just working it again. The contract job is a recruiting job, so I do a lot of the work after my full-time job because obviously I need to give all my efforts there. That's what pays all the bills. This is just extra money, thankfully. So the way like I structure my day is like from 8 to 9, I work my contract job. From 9 to those hours, I work my full-time job. During my lunch, I just like do a quick catch up on my contract job. At night, once my kids go to bed from like 7:30 to like 10, I'm also working on that contract job, and it's recruiting. So I'm like going through resumes, sourcing candidates, etc. So it's not like a lot of in-person stuff. It's a lot of computer work, thankfully. My full-time job is in ed tech, and that is a lot of Zooms, a lot of meetings, etc. So it's really hard to try to balance both, but I feel like they complement each other because like literally one is always on Zoom and one is never on Zoom. So it works. So I hope that helps. I had a lot of questions on this. So I work a recruiting contract job, and my full-time job is in ed tech as a program manager.
I recently had a friend ask me how I held 2 full-time jobs. Here's how. So as a Black woman and an immigrant, I've always been taught that I have to work twice as hard to get half as much. Yeah. So when I entered corporate, I sort of decided that I'm going to embody the confidence. I'm going to embody the audacity of a white man. So instead of going into a position and giving 100% of myself, I decided that they could get a good 40% of me. And I'll tell you how I came up with this. So right after grad school, I had a friend who immediately jumped into a new position, was hella excited, gave 100% of herself. And so on those days when she wasn't feeling well or she was feeling sick and like only able to give 80 or 70, people noticed and they would be like, what's wrong? Why aren't you keeping up the pace? Why aren't you producing in the same way that you had been before? And she always told me, I wish I never gave 100 from the beginning. So I'm thankful to my girl for going through that experience because I learned through her experience. So every workplace that I entered, I would say honestly, I would give about like 50, 60-ish%. But when I decided I want to have 2 full-time jobs, I dialed it back to 40. When you give 40% of yourself and people think it's your 100%, if you give even 10, 20% more, you're only at 50 or 60, they're like, wow, you're doing an amazing job and you're not overworking yourself. If you start off at 100, you can't take a break. So when I decided I'm gonna have 2 full-time jobs, I started scaling back at one of my jobs and got them used to my new 100%, which was 40. 2 full-time jobs wasn't going to be easy. So baseline, if I gave 40% at each job, that was still 80% of my actual full self. And I had 20% to sort of like just decompress. And when I needed to rev things up, I'm only revving up to 50% at each job. So it was hard because there were times where I am actually working 100% of myself and like of my abilities to be able to maintain both positions and do them well. But on a regular day, baby, you're getting 40. I'm sorry, you were getting 40. This is for y'all who want to finesse, okay? If you genuinely enjoy and love your job, the job I currently have now, then give what you can. When you're in a healthy work environment, you don't have to play these games. And unfortunately, I wasn't in a healthy work environment for a really long time. And so I had to find ways to protect myself. This was how.
Just seeing a video on TikTok, this lady telling people that they need to learn how to stack jobs. In other words, work 2-3 jobs in order to be able to make it in this world. Her reason was because one job just doesn't do it. And while I understand where she's coming from, I think stacking jobs is the worst thing that we could do, especially if we're parents, because we're trading time for dollars. And that means we're getting less time with our kids.
If you've actually done this, can you comment and tell us how it worked out for you? Well, as long as you're not worried about your employer seeing or if you've done it before. I'm talking about working 2 full-time jobs. If both the jobs are remote and you're able to actually handle 2 full-time jobs. Over my years of career coaching, I've probably worked with about 5 people that have held 2 full-time jobs that are both remote. Now, I think the easier way to go is to have a full-time job that gives you benefits, all of those things, and then get a contract position where you don't have to work 40 hours unless you really want to. So some weeks when you're really busy at your full-time job, you can just work maybe 10 to 20 hours in the contract role. Also, depending on what state you live in, being a contractor, you have way more leeway. So if you are considering this, here are just some things to think about, and this is not legal advice at all. First thing I would consider is, do you want to tell your employer or not? Because it depends on what company you work for. If you work for a really large company, they may have different expectations of you. If you work for a family business or a friend or something like that, they may completely understand that you have extra time in your day to get other things done. Next, make sure you review every single one of your contracts. So anything you've ever signed, the offer letter, any other contracts, non-competes, anything like that, make sure you understand that before you go into getting another job. And then personally, I would choose to work in 2 separate industries just so there isn't that crossover. I think it's just a better call, but again, not advice, just what I would do. Okay, and lastly, I did want to share something kind of cool. I worked with someone that had a full-time job, and then she got another full-time job, and she hired a virtual assistant that she paid less than she was actually making to do that job for her. So really, she wasn't even working, but she was doing all of the work, or her boss thought. So again, this is just me telling you things, not advice, but take that and do with it what you will. Again, if anyone out there has done something similar and is willing to share, please let us know.
Hello. So I just wanted to make a quick video answering basically just a lot of questions or just explaining what I do and how to do it, because it's really not that hard for real. Like I promise you guys, it's not as hard as you guys think. So yes, I work 4 work from home jobs, and when I say that, I get a lot of comments like, "Oh, you're working too hard. You're working too hard. That's doing too much. You gotta work smarter, not harder," or whatever a couple comments were saying. I work a customer service role over the phone in the day, and I also do email support. Those are my 2 full-time jobs. At night, depending on how I'm feeling that week, I could be full-time or part-time. 9 times out of 10, my nighttime job is part-time. Also, my nighttime job is not the same as my daytime jobs. I'm not doing no nighttime job where I gotta really be up like full-fledged working all night from 8 to 4 or 10 to 6 or whatever. I don't do that. My nighttime job is chill. Most nighttime jobs are low call volume, so I do that. I be doing my thing. I have my headset unplugged. When I hear a ring, which it doesn't, there's most nights it doesn't ring at all, but if it does, I hear it, plug my headset in, take the call, get them out the way, and I go right back to my Z's. My 4th job, I work customer service for a medical insurance company on weekends only, okay? On weekends only. And then with my medical insurance job, there are also some days I'm scheduled for my non-phone email job on weekends. So then there's some days during the week, during the day, I don't gotta work at all. Does that make sense? So yes, I work 4 jobs, but I don't feel I work hard at all. Like most of the time I'm in my pajamas. I'm at the crib. I get food when I want to get food. I go pick my daughter up from school. I hug her when I want to hug her. I help her with her homework when she needs homework. I cook her dinner when I need to cook dinner. And whole time I'm making money. Y'all can't do that working on site. Like you're stuck in those people's buildings in their facility with no say so in how you manage your time. Also, just quickly, I might make another video on this subject here. Your resume is only 50% of the battle, baby. It's 50, 30, 20. 50% resume, 30% on when you apply to a job. Okay, so when you get your application in is very important. And the last 20% is how you interview, okay? You're not gonna be the only one with a great application that has the keywords that's needed to meet that job requirement, baby. There's thousands, millions of people who have a qualified resume. But if you get yours in at 2 hours after posting, and somebody else gets theirs in 3 days later after posting, guess who's going to get called for that interview?
The only reason why you should have more than one job is to invest, save, or pay off debt. In this economy, I think that most people have more than one job. That's for sure.
People always get mad at me for saying this, but when I was working multiple full-time jobs to be able to save over $30,000 to buy my house, I didn't care about what anybody thought about it. When recruiters or interviewers or hiring managers asked me about the current job that I was in, I didn't necessarily lie. It's like, do lawyers lie? A lot of times lawyers don't lie. They kind of just wiggle their way around the truth, if you will. So when they asked the question, why are you looking for a new job? I told them why I was looking for a new job. I was really honest. I wanted to glow up financially. I said it in a professional way, but I was interested in growing in my career. I had a lot of growth goals, so I was looking for a growth opportunity. I never told him that I was leaving the job that I was in. And I wasn't, and I didn't. And I was able to save my money. I made sure that I managed my calendar so that my meetings didn't overlap. And meetings did overlap, I ensured that one of them I didn't have to talk in, or both of them I didn't have to talk in. So I would have my headphones on in one meeting and the headphones off for another meeting, but be listening to both of them at the same time, on mute at the same time. So it's really just a finesse game. Don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't do it. And I had so many people tell me that I was selfish, that I was greedy. Listen, call it what you want to call it. These companies not paying enough. Eggs is $5. I didn't want to be in an apartment for forever paying $2,500 for rent. I had to buy a house for my family, and I did that.
Hear me out. If you're depressed, I think you should work 2 jobs. I think you should work 50 hours a week, and this is why. I work 2 jobs. I work every single day of the week, and I work about 50 to 55 hours a week total. When I started doing this, I'm a few weeks in, and family and friends keep asking me like, oh, you're gonna get burnt out? Are you burnt out yet? Blah, blah, blah. My next day off isn't for another 2 weeks. Christmas Day is my next day off. And to answer them, I'm not burnt out. I feel great. I feel better than I did before working that much. Because when I was working part-time, I had more time at home to sit around and feel sorry for myself and kind of get in a depressive state and feel like I wasn't doing enough. I would think about how I'm not where I want to be. Working every single day has made me feel so useful and productive. And I'm not getting burnt out because one of my jobs is an office job and one of my jobs, I'm on my feet. I've got a good balance physically. They're both pretty easy jobs, so I'm not mentally drained. And I rotate the job. So one day I'm working at the apartment, next day I'm working at the restaurant, and I rotate like that. So keeps things fun and different. But yeah, ever since working 2 jobs, my mental health has been amazing. So if you're depressed, I would 10 out of 10 recommend doing that, because then you also make more money. So it's a win-win. Win-win.
Ask me how I manage having multiple jobs. The easy answer is I don't. Today is currently Monday, and tomorrow, Tuesday, I literally was scheduled for 4 o'clock at Red Robin and 4:30 at Ulta. So literally both of my jobs have me scheduled at the same exact time and to get off the same exact time. Now usually sometimes when this happens, I can rearrange my schedule. I've already reached out to my coworkers and seen if anybody wanted to pick up my shift for tomorrow night or either switch shifts with me, because if I do a Tuesday morning, I should still get off and enough time to make it to my other job, hopefully. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, but I went ahead and called my manager and let them know that I probably won't be able to make it in tomorrow, because unfortunately, if I call out of Ulta, I'm probably going to just get fired, because they have a point system, and I think I'm on my last point, if I'm not mistaken. And with Red Robin, I've never called out before, so I should be okay, because that's not something that I plan on creating a habit. I really don't like calling out work. I want my money, but I need both my jobs. So unfortunately, I have to just make that hard choice. And it's a Tuesday, so I don't feel like it's too bad of a day to call out, because it's not going to be super crazy busy. Hopefully somebody picks up my shift. So far, nobody's responded, so I don't really know. But this is a prime example of some of the problems that you're going to have if you're trying to balance multiple jobs and multiple streams of income, especially those that aren't like entrepreneurial type jobs, because I'm like scheduled at these certain times and like somebody else is dictating what I do and what time I do it. Yeah, this is what happens. This is the problems that I run into.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.